Let's dive into something that runs a bit deeper, a bit darker, yet something many of us crave to understand. We're talking about those unseen strings, those silent ways to capture someone's mind, thoughts, and even actions, without them even realizing it. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to leave such a lasting impression, as if they've somehow slipped under your skin, into your thoughts, to the point you feel like you can't shake them off? Maybe it's someone you can't stop thinking about, someone who somehow seems to know exactly what to say, how to act, or what you need before you even know it yourself. It's like they're always a step ahead, subtly influencing your choices, your emotions, and even your desires. These people are using a level of social skill that borders on psychological magic. You find yourself hooked, craving their attention, hoping for their approval, almost as if your emotions are tied to their every move. They aren't forcing anything, yet they seem to know how to pull you in, to make you feel seen, valued, and even a little dependent. But here's the thing. These skills aren't just random. They're calculated and they're intentional. They're what we could call dark social skills. It's not about manipulation in a harsh or obvious way. In fact, these skills often go unnoticed because they work under the radar. And when done with the right intention, they can create deep, meaningful connections that leave a lasting impact. These skills are rooted in understanding human psychology, knowing what people crave, what they fear, what they need to feel valued, and what makes them tick. It's the art of knowing what buttons to press and when, but more importantly, it's about using these abilities to create a bond, a connection that's so powerful it feels almost inevitable. Imagine for a moment that you could harness these skills, that you could learn to read between the lines of human behavior and understand what's truly going on beneath the surface. What if you could make someone feel like you're the only person who truly understands them, that you're the one they can't live without, the one they crave to be around? Think of it as creating a connection that's unbreakable, a connection where they find themselves drawn to you almost magnetically. And that's what we're talking about today, a subtle, powerful way to capture someone's interest, attention, and even loyalty. When you use these dark social skills, it's like you're giving them exactly what they need without them having to ask for it. It's knowing when to be silent, when to lean in, and when to pull back just enough to keep them wondering. It's about understanding the delicate balance of power in every relationship. Now, if that sounds like something out of a psychology textbook, don't worry. These principles are rooted in real, everyday actions. It's about creating an experience with you that's so vivid, so engaging, that they feel compelled to return again and again to that feeling only you can give them. These skills are not about forcing anyone's hand. They're about creating a presence that's unforgettable, about shaping an experience that lingers in their mind, one that leaves them thinking about you, even in the quiet moments when they're alone. Think about it. Every time they catch themselves thinking about you, that's a subtle mark, a small reminder that they can't quite shake off. And in a world where attention is fleeting, this kind of effect is rare and powerful. But remember, these skills aren't shortcuts. They're not gimmicks, and they're not tricks you pull out for a temporary thrill. Dark social skills are about setting the stage for a connection that feels real and lasting. The goal isn't to play games. It's to build a bond so strong that it feels natural, like they're drawn to you in a way they can't explain. It's a dance between mystery and presence, between giving and withholding, between knowing when to be near and when to create just enough distance to keep their curiosity alive. Imagine becoming someone whose presence lingers even in your absence, like the subtle scent of a rare perfume that leaves people craving more. You're that quiet force in the room, the one people naturally gravitate toward without quite understanding why. When you're around, your influence isn't loud or obvious. It's magnetic, drawing others in without effort, like a warm flame that others can't resist getting close to. That's the kind of impact we're talking about, the kind that doesn't demand attention, yet commands it, leaving others feeling pulled into your orbit almost as if by gravity. Picture this as a masterful game of chess where each move is subtle but purposeful. It's not about manipulating anyone into checkmate. Rather, it's about understanding the whole board, knowing what drives people's decisions and emotions. When you master this, you're not just playing a game, you're setting the tempo, creating a rhythm that keeps them coming back, even when they don't fully understand why. It's about going beyond surface impressions, touching on those deeper layers that make a connection unforgettable. And let's be clear, this isn't about losing yourself or trying to be someone you're not to capture someone's attention. It's about learning to read the subtle language of human behavior and refining how you carry yourself so that your presence naturally fills the room. Think of it as crafting an irresistible story with yourself at the center, one so compelling, so intricately woven, that others can't help but want to be part of it. You're creating a kind of energy, an allure that goes beyond words, drawing people in like a mystery they can't quite solve, making them crave the answer that only you have. At the end of the day, this isn't just about them. It's about you recognizing your own power. Let's take a moment to ground ourselves in something powerful. Affirmations aren't just words, they're seeds of intention. They're the quiet reminders that anchor us, that realign us with our inner strength and purpose. Every time you affirm something with conviction, you're setting a foundation, planting a small yet mighty force within yourself that grows over time. So today, let's affirm with clarity and intention. Repeat after me. I am the quiet influence they can't resist. Feel the strength in those words. Let it sink in. Now, write it in the comments below to lock it in. Let it be the reminder that you hold the power to attract and influence with ease. If our content is helping you grow, helping you see things from a new perspective, then show some love. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Together, we're building a community where you can discover and embrace your true power. Your support not only keeps this journey going, but it helps others find it too. So get ready, because today we're diving into these dark social skills, those powerful, unseen forces that can make all the difference in how others see you, feel about you, and even miss you. Whether you want to spark interest, deepen a relationship, or simply become someone unforgettable, mastering these skills can open doors, deepen connections, and change the way you experience every relationship in your life. Number 1. Keeping them on the edge. The power of controlled mystery. Have you ever noticed how the most intriguing people in your life aren't always the ones who tell you everything right away? There's something captivating about a person who leaves you guessing, who offers just enough to stir your curiosity, but never quite satisfies it. They're like a book with missing chapters. Every encounter feels like a hint at something deeper, something just out of reach. This, my friends, is the art of controlled mystery, the first and perhaps most powerful way to keep someone on the edge, coming back for more. In a world where everyone overshares, controlled mystery is a breath of fresh air. It's about knowing when to hold back, letting people wonder about the parts of you they can't quite grasp. Think of it like planting seeds. Each small piece of yourself you reveal is a seed of intrigue, carefully dropped, allowing their curiosity to grow. The more you let their mind wander, the stronger their attraction becomes. As Epictetus once said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Mystery is not about showing off, but about being comfortable with what others don't know. It's about understanding that what you withhold can be more powerful than what you give. Consider for a moment the ocean at night. From a distance, it's a vast, dark expanse, intimidating yet irresistible. You see only the surface, but the depths below remain hidden. The ocean doesn't need to explain itself or reveal its secrets. Its power lies in what it withholds. This same principle applies to controlled mystery. When you give everything away, there's nothing left to explore, nothing to pull people deeper. But when you hold back, when you let your depth remain hidden, you become like that dark ocean, drawing them in with the promise of something more beneath the surface. Practicing controlled mystery means choosing what to share and what to keep close. It's about knowing that each detail you reveal should add a new layer, like adding spices to a dish, instead of dumping in all the ingredients at once. You want to flavor the connection, not overwhelm it. In a conversation, for example, rather than answering every question in full, try giving just enough for them to understand the outline of the story, but leave out the finer details. When they ask you about your weekend, maybe say, "It was memorable, one of those rare days that makes you think." You don't have to say more, but in that hint lies a world of possibilities. They'll wonder what you mean, they'll be curious, and they'll find themselves coming back to discover more of the story. Controlled mystery isn't about playing hard to get. It's about valuing the parts of yourself that others must earn. When you make someone work a little harder to understand you, to see what's behind your surface, they develop a deeper respect for you. They come to realize that knowing you is a privilege, not something you hand out freely. In this way, mystery builds both respect and attraction, creating a bond that is anything but superficial. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By choosing to reveal only what's truly meaningful, you let others see the richness of your soul without losing your depth. Think of controlled mystery like a candle that flickers in the dark. It doesn't flood the room with light. Instead, it dances, casting shadows, making everything feel a bit more alluring, a bit more profound. You become that light. A presence that's never fully captured, but always noticed, always felt. People find themselves drawn to you because there's a sense of something they're missing, a feeling that there's more to uncover. And it's that sense of something unfinished, something still hidden, that keeps them coming back, almost like an unsolvable puzzle. In a relationship, mystery gives room for growth and exploration. When you reveal everything at once, there's no journey left, no thrill in discovering new aspects of each other. Controlled mystery means keeping parts of yourself back, not in dishonesty, but in reverence for the complexity of who you are. It's about letting your partner know that there will always be more layers, that even as they get closer, they'll never reach the end. This way, you remain a constant source of fascination, a person they want to explore and understand, like a never-ending story that leaves them captivated. But remember, controlled mystery isn't about manipulation. It's about cultivating depth and inviting people to connect with you on a meaningful level. It's about showing them that you're not an open book because you value your own complexity. When you understand the value of your mystery, you'll find that people respect you more. They're drawn to you not because you offer everything, but because you reveal only what is true and valuable. So, the next time you feel the urge to tell all, pause. Ask yourself if this is a detail worth sharing or if it's something to keep close. Let people discover you piece by piece, like unveiling a masterpiece, layer by layer. Controlled mystery is about maintaining your worth and inviting others to see it, slowly, steadily, and powerfully. Let's affirm this together. I am a mystery worth discovering. Say it with conviction. This affirmation reminds you of the value in what you hold back, in letting others earn the privilege of knowing you. Type it in the comments and make it your mantra, embracing the power of your own mystery. If this resonates, if you're beginning to see how holding back can actually make your connection stronger, then show some love. Hit that like button and subscribe. Remember, each step in this journey is about you realizing your own worth, your own depth, and the irresistible allure that comes with being a mystery worth unraveling. Number 2. Dancing to their rhythm, mirroring that draws them. Have you ever been around someone who seems to just get you? Someone who feels like they're on your wavelength, almost as if they're inside your mind. Being around them feels easy, comfortable, and, in some ways, magnetic. That's the art of mirroring, a powerful, subtle skill that creates an unspoken bond. When you master this skill, you're not just communicating, you're resonating, aligning yourself with someone in a way that makes them feel seen, understood, and deeply connected. Mirroring is all about tuning into the other person's energy, emotions, and body language. It's not about copying or mimicking in an obvious way. It's about creating harmony, like two instruments playing in the same key. When someone leans forward, you lean forward. When their tone softens, so does yours. This isn't manipulation, it's empathy in action, a silent rhythm that binds people closer together without them even realizing it. Seneca said, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." By mirroring, you're offering this understanding, creating a bridge where they feel truly connected to you. Think of mirroring like a dance where each step flows naturally, responding to the lead of your partner without overpowering or lagging behind. In this dance, you're not trying to be them. You're reflecting their pace, their movements, in a way that makes them feel they're dancing with someone who speaks their language. Imagine you're in a conversation with someone who's full of excitement, speaking quickly, animatedly. Instead of staying subdued or quiet, you lift your own energy to match theirs, meeting their enthusiasm. Suddenly, they feel you're on the same page, that you understand them in a way others don't. Mirroring goes beyond physical movements. It's about reflecting their emotional state too. When someone shares a painful experience, lowering your tone and nodding with understanding shows empathy. They feel validated, sensing you're not just hearing them but feeling what they feel. This subtle reflection makes people feel like you're in tune with them on a deep, personal level. The Stoics believed in responding appropriately to each moment. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny." Mirroring allows you to weave yourself into someone else's experience, showing that you accept and understand their unique pattern. Imagine, for instance, a conversation where someone is talking about their struggles. Instead of offering solutions right away, you reflect their sentiment by saying, "I can see how tough that must be," or "That sounds incredibly challenging." They feel your alignment, your empathy. It's as if, without words, you're saying, "I'm here with you in this moment." This creates a feeling of closeness and security, of being deeply understood, and that's where the bond grows. But mirroring isn't just about words or body language. It's about knowing when to match their emotional rhythm and when to let them lead. People often mirror each other unconsciously, but by doing it intentionally, you can foster an almost hypnotic connection. Imagine you're speaking to someone who's in a calm, reflective mood. By slowing your own pace and softening your tone, you create a sanctuary of understanding, a safe space where they feel they can be themselves. This isn't about forcing a bond. It's about allowing one to form naturally, making them feel comfortable, respected, and connected. The magic of mirroring lies in its subtlety. The person you're mirroring will feel the connection without necessarily understanding why. They'll find themselves drawn to you, feeling as though you're on the same wavelength, someone who gets them. This creates an almost magnetic pull, making them feel closer to you than to others. They may not consciously notice that you've mirrored their energy, but subconsciously, they'll feel a connection that seems deeper, more genuine, more natural. And as Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Through mirroring, you're listening, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Mirroring also shows respect, as you're acknowledging and accepting the other person's state without trying to impose your own. It tells them, "I see you, I understand you, I'm here with you." It's a way of saying without words that their presence matters to you. And in this rhythm, this silent dance, you're building a connection that feels real and meaningful, one that goes beyond the superficial. Mirroring is the quiet language of connection, one that builds trust and makes others feel they're exactly where they need to be, with you. So, as you go forward, try dancing to their rhythm, allowing their energy to set the pace. Match their tone, their body language, their pace, and see the effect. They'll start to feel that connection, that ease, and find themselves coming back to you. Mirroring isn't about control, it's about flow, about creating a bond where words aren't even necessary to feel close. Let's affirm this together. I resonate with others, creating bonds that are deep and natural. Say this with confidence and write it in the comments. This affirmation reminds you of the power of understanding, of aligning yourself with others in a way that makes them feel truly connected. If our content is helping you connect on deeper levels, creating relationships that feel more meaningful, then hit that like button and subscribe. Together, we're building a community that values connection, presence, and the subtle art of influence. You're on a journey of growth, and every step you take brings you closer to the kind of relationships that matter. Number 3. Silence speaks volumes. The art of saying nothing. Silence. It's a concept so simple yet powerful, so overlooked but profoundly effective. Imagine how many conversations are filled with noise, with words thrown in just to fill the gaps. But silence, when used wisely, can speak louder than any string of words, leaving a lasting impression that echoes long after you've left. This is the art of saying nothing, a skill that can create intrigue, command respect, and deepen the connection others feel with you. Think about it. Silence is like the space between musical notes. Without it, music would just be noise. Silence gives rhythm, allowing each note to stand out, each word to have weight. In relationships, a well-timed pause, a moment of reflection, can reveal more than words ever could. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Silence is not the absence of communication, it is its most potent form. One of the greatest powers of silence is the space it creates for others to reveal themselves. When you don't rush to fill every pause, people feel compelled to share more, often revealing things they wouldn't have otherwise. Think of a conversation like a game of chess. If you always rush to make your move, you miss the opportunity to see your opponent's strategy. Similarly, when you sit back and let silence work its magic, people will naturally open up, filling the space with their thoughts, ideas, and even vulnerabilities. This not only deepens your understanding of them, but also allows them to feel seen and heard. Silence also conveys confidence and control. Imagine two people in a conversation, one constantly chattering, the other calm and composed, listening intently and responding only when necessary. Who holds more power? The one who doesn't feel the need to fill every pause. When you're comfortable with silence, you signal self-assurance, showing that you're not desperate to impress or entertain. This quiet confidence draws people in, making them curious about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you'll say next. As the saying goes, speak only if it improves upon the silence. Each time you choose to hold back, to let a pause linger, you're making your presence stronger and your words more impactful. Consider silence as a way to let others feel your absence. In moments of tension or disagreement, instead of arguing or justifying yourself, try staying silent. Silence can be a mirror, forcing others to confront their own words, their own actions, without interference. Like a reflection in still water, silence shows them exactly what they've said or done, often more powerfully than any rebuttal could. It forces them to think, to process, and often to reconsider. Silence in these moments isn't weakness. It's the ultimate show of strength and composure. In relationships, silence can be a powerful way to create longing. When you're always readily available, constantly in communication, there's no space for your absence to be felt. But when you allow silence, when you step back and let them wonder about you, it creates a pull, a sense of missing you, of wanting to reach out. It's like stepping away from a warm fire on a cold night. The warmth is only truly appreciated when it's no longer there. By choosing silence, you give others the chance to realize the depth of your presence, to feel its absence, and to desire it. But remember, silence must be intentional, not passive-aggressive. It's not about withholding or punishing. It's about cultivating respect, both for yourself and for others. Silence is about honoring the space between words, creating a presence that doesn't rely on constant explanation or validation. It's the art of letting people draw closer to you, not because of what you say, but because of what you don't. So let's affirm together, in silence I find strength and respect. Embrace this phrase. Type it in the comments and let it serve as a reminder that silence, when used wisely, can be your most powerful tool. Number 4. Gone but not forgotten. The allure of thoughtful absence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do in a relationship is to step back, to let your absence be felt. In our fast-paced world, we're taught to always stay connected, to be present, and to never let someone wait. But thoughtful absence is about resisting that urge. It's about letting silence speak, about creating a space where your absence is as powerful as your presence. This quiet distance allows others to feel the weight of what they're missing, creating a lasting impact that lingers in their minds. Think about the stars. They're always there, but we only notice them when the sky darkens, when everything else fades away. Absence works in the same way. When you step back thoughtfully, it gives others a chance to appreciate what you bring into their lives. It's in that gap, that pause, where they begin to realize the value of your presence. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This philosophy applies to thoughtful absence. How they react to your distance reveals what you mean to them. A well-placed absence can create a pull that words can't achieve. Imagine it as a ripple effect. When you pull back, you create a small, gentle wave that slowly expands, reaching further than you might expect. When someone feels the void you leave, they can't help but reflect on what they're missing. And it's in that reflection that attachment begins to grow. People often don't realize how much someone means to them until they feel the emptiness left behind. This absence allows them to feel your impact, your presence, in a way that constant contact could never achieve. In any relationship, there's a natural push and pull dynamic. By stepping back, you allow that dynamic to balance itself, giving the other person a chance to lean toward you, to seek you out. Thoughtful absence isn't about playing hard to get or creating artificial distance. It's about allowing room for genuine longing. When you are always available, always on call, there's no opportunity for the other person to miss you, to realize the value of your presence. But when you create space, when you step back with intention, you offer them the chance to reflect on what you add to their life. Imagine being a warm, comforting fire on a cold night. If that fire is always burning, people might forget its warmth, take it for granted. But if it dims now and then, they're reminded of its importance. Thoughtful absence is like letting that fire go low, just enough for someone to miss its warmth and to understand its value in a new way. When you return, it's with a renewed sense of appreciation that brings them closer, deepening the bond. It's natural to fear that stepping back will push someone away, that they'll forget you or move on. But thoughtful absence is rooted in confidence. It's about knowing your worth and trusting that if someone values you, they will feel your absence. It's a test, not of them, but of the connection itself. If the bond is strong, your absence will only make it stronger. And if they don't reach back, then you know they weren't invested enough in the first place. As Seneca wisely said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Thoughtful absence is about choosing your own direction, rather than being carried by the currents of someone else's desires. So, give them the space to notice what's missing, to understand that your presence brings something unique. Absence isn't about pulling away. It's about enhancing the connection by giving it room to breathe, room to grow. Trust that your value doesn't diminish just because you're not always there. Quite the opposite. Sometimes, by stepping back, you allow others to step forward, to realize the depth of what you bring into their lives. Let's affirm together, my presence is powerful, and my absence is felt. Say this to remind yourself that you have a lasting impact, one that doesn't fade just because you're not always around. Type it in the comments as a commitment to yourself, an acknowledgement of your worth. Number 5. The power of a light touch, leaving a lasting imprint. Sometimes the smallest gestures are the ones that leave the deepest impressions. A light touch, when used thoughtfully, can create a connection that lingers long after the moment has passed. It's a subtle skill, the power of which lies in its simplicity and restraint. Think of it as a whisper instead of a shout, something that captures attention without overwhelming it. This is the art of a light touch, a skill that allows you to leave an imprint so subtle yet so profound that it can stay with someone far longer than words. A gentle touch on the arm, a soft nudge during laughter, or even a brush of fingers when passing something. These little gestures are small yet powerful. They engage our natural senses, creating a moment of connection that words often can't. When used at the right time, a light touch conveys warmth, trust, and a level of comfort that goes beyond words. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "The greatest blessings of mankind are within us, and within our reach. A light touch reminds us of that closeness, that shared presence, bringing people into a connection that feels genuine and personal. Imagine the effect of a single light touch compared to an overt, continuous embrace. A fleeting touch doesn't demand, it invites. Like the trace of a single footprint on an otherwise untouched path. It's a mark that's hard to forget, precisely because it's so rare and deliberate. The key here is timing, knowing when to reach out, to create that subtle bridge between you and someone else. Whether in a conversation, during a moment of shared laughter, or as you're saying goodbye, the power of a light touch lies in its ability to create an instant sense of connection. Think of it like a drop of water hitting a calm surface. One small touch sends ripples across the water, creating movement that continues long after the initial contact. A light touch works similarly. It stirs emotions, memories, and thoughts in a way that's gentle yet lasting. People may not remember exactly what was said, but they'll remember how they felt in that moment, how that touch made them feel valued, close, and connected. It's a touch that doesn't just brush the skin, but reaches deeper, connecting on an emotional level. Now, this isn't about using touch to manipulate. The power of a light touch is rooted in sincerity and respect. It's about recognizing the other person's comfort and boundaries while offering a brief moment of shared humanity. When you use touch authentically, it becomes a small act of trust, a way to show, I'm here with you in this moment. And when you give that moment the respect it deserves, it becomes memorable. Controlled touch, used sparingly, is also a way of distinguishing yourself from others. Most people overlook the power of such subtleties, opting instead for grand gestures or constant reassurance. But those who master the light touch understand that less is often more. In being gentle and brief, you leave space for mystery, for a sense of wanting more. You don't crowd their personal space or overpower the moment. Instead, you create a feeling that is both profound and delicate, one that lingers in their memory. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "No great thing is created suddenly." Similarly, a strong bond isn't built in a single moment or with continuous effort. Sometimes the most impactful gestures are the smallest. The light touch becomes an art when you recognize its value in restraint. By not overdoing it, by using it with intention, you create a memory that lasts precisely because it's brief and genuine. So, as you interact with others, remember the power of these small, intentional gestures. Let your touch speak when words aren't enough. Let it be a gentle reminder of your presence and warmth, leaving an imprint they'll think about long after. Let's affirm this together. My touch leaves a lasting impact. Say it to yourself and mean it. It's a reminder of the subtle power you hold, the ability to create connections through even the simplest of gestures. Type it in the comments to make it yours, and remember, your presence doesn't need to be loud to be felt. If this resonates with you, if you're starting to see how these small gestures can deepen connections, give a like and subscribe. This journey is about discovering the quiet strengths within you, the power of a light touch, and the lasting connections you can create through simplicity and presence. Number 6. Letting down the guard. Controlled vulnerability that bonds. There's an undeniable power in vulnerability, a strength that comes from letting down your guard just enough to show the real you, not as an open book, but as a glimpse into something rare. Controlled vulnerability isn't about pouring out every emotion or sharing every detail. It's about choosing moments to reveal a part of yourself that feels genuine and personal. When done carefully, This creates a bond that goes beyond surface-level attraction. As Seneca said, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Allowing someone to see a side of you that's rarely shown is a courageous act, one that builds a lasting bridge of trust. Imagine taking it as peeling back a single layer of armor, just enough to let in a glimmer of connection. You become someone who isn't afraid to share, but who does so with purpose. This doesn't mean leading with your struggles or secrets, but instead sharing a thought or story that shows your humanity, your depth. In doing so, you create a space where others feel comfortable letting down their guard too. This balance makes your presence feel genuine and inviting. Controlled vulnerability also teaches others that your openness is a privilege, not something you hand out freely. When they see that you've chosen to share a meaningful part of yourself, they feel trusted, special, and more connected. This, in turn, encourages a bond that feels genuine and deep, a bond they'll want to nurture. Let's affirm together, I share my truth with purpose and strength. Say it. Own it. This is the essence of controlled vulnerability. Write this affirmation in the comments and embrace the quiet power that comes with showing the real you on your own terms. Number 7. Compliments they won't forget. Praising beyond the obvious. When it comes to compliments, the typical "you look great" or "nice job" might get a polite thank you, but they rarely make a lasting impact. If you want to leave a deeper impression, it's all about noticing the details others miss and giving praise that resonates on a personal level. People are drawn to those who truly see them, not just for their outward appearance or obvious achievements, but for the unique traits and qualities they may even overlook in themselves. Think of it like planting a seed in their mind, a compliment so specific that it takes root, making them think, wow, no one's ever noticed that about me before. When you acknowledge something meaningful, like their kindness toward others, their quiet strength, or their ability to bring calm to tense situations, you're recognizing something that often goes unnoticed. This makes them feel seen and valued in a way that's rare and memorable. Imagine saying, I noticed how you included everyone in the conversation tonight. Not many people are so naturally considerate. This kind of compliment does more than flatter. It shows you're genuinely paying attention. As Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. By offering thoughtful, unexpected compliments, you're giving them a gift that lingers, subtly reminding them of your presence. Let's affirm together, I notice and appreciate the unique strengths in others. Write it in the comments below and let this mindset deepen your connections, creating bonds that go beyond the surface. Number 8. Leaving a trail. Signature details that haunt their memory. Imagine being the kind of person who lingers in someone's mind long after you've left the room, like the faint scent of perfume that brings memories rushing back. Leaving a trail isn't about grand gestures. It's about those subtle, unforgettable details that set you apart. When you create a unique association, whether it's a phrase you often use, a distinct laugh, or a particular scent, you become something they can't easily replace. Just like a favorite song that brings a flood of memories with its first note, your signature details keep you alive in their thoughts. Think of it as leaving breadcrumbs that lead back to you. Maybe it's a word you use that no one else does, or a scent that fills the air whenever you're near. These small, intentional details work like gentle reminders, making them think of you even when they least expect it. The philosopher Seneca once said, "The memory of a good deed is a fragrance that perfumes the air long after the flower has withered." In the same way, Your presence can leave a lasting impact, those tiny traces that continue to haunt their memory. Leaving a trail isn't about being flashy, it's about being memorable. Each time they encounter that phrase, scent or sound, they're pulled back to moments with you, feeling your presence even in your absence. It's a quiet, yet powerful way to make sure you're never fully out of their mind. Let's affirm, I am unforgettable, leaving a trace of myself wherever I go. Write it down in the comments as a reminder of the impact you're capable of making. And if this resonates, show your support by liking and subscribing. Together, we'll continue to unlock the secrets to leaving a